Hi everyone, welcome to my channel where I discuss all things human design and sometimes lifestyle. On today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you my top tips to practicing phone minimalism. If you know me personally, then you know that I actually moved to the US 5 years ago with just a carry-on suitcase. And 5 years later, I can confidently say that all of my personal belongings still fit in just a carry-on suitcase. When it comes to minimalism, we often don't think about digital minimalism and the importance of it. And that's why I'm super excited to share with you today some of my top tips when it comes to how we can start to practice and implement different minimalist habits with our phone. Because I'm filming this video with my phone, I will be sharing my phone screen in just a moment and moving away from my face. I did want to just get this intro filmed, and I'm super excited to share with you my top tips. And please let me know in the comments below what your top tips are when it comes to phone minimalism. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button as I put out 2 new videos each week. With that, let's move to my phone screen. All right, welcome to my home screen. As you can see, the first tip is really about finding a background or a wallpaper that brings calm and serenity to your phone. Oftentimes, our phone is a sense of stress for us. We hear it buzz, or we look at the front screen and there's so many icons and distractions that oftentimes we pick up our phone and we don't even know what we were looking for in the first place. Think about what you want to see when you open your phone. I recommend putting a vision board here, a picture that makes you smile, a motivational quote, or even something simple like what I have here. You can create any background, whether it's in Canva or even just finding something on Pinterest. As you can see at the bottom dock, I have the 4 apps that I use the most, which is the phone, Safari, WhatsApp Messenger, and Notion. These are very easy to change out. You can simply just click them and remove them. So here, if I want, I can just remove it to the screen. I can even delete or remove this from the home screen. This is totally customizable based on what your needs are. As you can see, my home screen is completely empty, and I actually don't like to see icons. I have a little trick, but for the purpose of this recording, I'm going to show you how to get rid of icons as well. These are just out in order to show you how to get rid of them. You just click and you hold down, and then you can remove them from the home screen by clicking remove app, and then don't delete the app, just make sure to hit the middle button, which is remove from home screen. I'll do this now again over here. We remove the app, remove from home screen, and we have this nice blank canvas. The reason I do this is because whether you have an older iPhone that doesn't have the new updates or you have an Android phone, you are able to always use the search bar. So here in the search, I can search whatever I'm looking to open up, and I can access it easily. Let's say if I was looking for Lyft, for example, or Duolingo. All these different apps are on my phone, but they don't need to appear on the screen. In the latest system for iOS, you do have this app library, so you can come in here and you can see all of your apps anyways, but I highly recommend, I'm always telling people, use the search bar. You can search whatever you want, and the beauty in this is that rather than looking at your home screen with all the different apps, so for example, rather than having to see all of this on your home screen and then getting distracted, maybe you were trying to send an email out, but then you checked your Instagram, and then all of a sudden you're in your WhatsApp. This allows you to be more focused and intentional about how you're using your phone. You'll notice that I actually also have all of my notifications turned off. I never have bubbles with little numbers that are accumulating in my phone, because I find that if I do, I'll be distracted and I won't be paying 100% attention to whatever I might be doing at the moment. I would rather be more intentional with my time and how I use my phone, which brings me to my next tip, which is really thinking about when do you want to use your phone. By setting aside time to use your phone, then you won't necessarily overuse your phone or find yourself getting distracted, which brings me to my next tip, which is to be intentional with your time and how you spend it using your phone. In this case, by not having any distractions when it comes to notifications, I only pick up my phone when I know I have time to look at the notifications. Even though my WhatsApp, for example, looks empty, when I click on it, there are lots of notifications there, but I don't need to have that number increasing, which is bringing me stress throughout the day. And I know that when I'm touching my phone and I have time set aside, I can go ahead and I can look at my WhatsApp and my Instagram and all those other distractions that do seem to come out throughout the day. The next tip I want to talk about when it comes to phone minimalism might be the first tip you want to go ahead and do is really taking a look at all of the apps you have on your phone and deciding if you really need all of these apps. If there's anything in your phone that you don't need or that you don't use often, you can always come back to it later. So you can always delete something and then find it in the App Store later if you need it again. But if you find that you're not using something, get rid of it. There's no reason to have that extra energy on your phone that's taking up space. This is very similar to the idea of minimalism and thinking about what brings us joy and what doesn't. I'm just going to do a quick peek here and see, what apps on my phone do I not necessarily use or that I do not need any longer. I'm pretty good with the phone minimalism, so I'm not seeing anything that I don't use. I keep it to a minimum. These are all apps that I do use pretty regularly. And so with that, I would then look at my photos. Photos is another area in our phone where we oftentimes need to delete items or we have a lot just hanging out. For example, I have this recording happening, but before I started this recording, I also attempted to record these two items, which I can just go ahead and delete. And I have this recording, which is the intro of this video. Almost once a week, I kind of make a habit of making sure to go through my phone and delete any old photos or videos that I no longer need. If we think about energy and how we show up and how it feels when we have things just so much more clear, it's the same with our digital spaces. If you think about what it's like to have a messy desk area and that chaos and that energy that it brings when you're trying to work from a place that's not clear versus when you have your desk area all set up and you're ready to start the week, this is an example of how we can create that same feeling. Even though we don't visibly see it, energetically, we can create that same experience on our phone. Those are just some of my top tips to phone minimalism. I have a lot more ideas to share, so I might create another video. Let me know what you think about this type of video and if you enjoyed it, and please let me know in the comments below as well what your tips are when it comes to phone minimalism.